Seek TV. I'm about to get ready to give y'all a very in-depth breakdown concerning a lot of these recent events that's going on, and I'm gonna delve deep into this because it's a lot happening, y'all, and I gotta really get down to this. Y'all know how I do. What I want to talk about is this brutal, TKO from Canelo on Billy Joe Sanders. Now, what I want to talk about right quick, notice that this broke the record for the largest indoor crowd. You know what I mean? And this is a very serious thing because, like I've been breaking this down for the longest, y'all. When y'all understand the name Billy, and I'm gonna elaborate deep on this video about the Messiah. When you understand Billy, as it's written, in Exodus 3:14, the Most High said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said that thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, I am have sent me unto you. And when you understand the whole theme of that, the I am that I am, Billy is short for William, which is, William, like Will I am, the will of I am, will of God, just to keep it simple. But what I want to talk about right quick is this was all a big ritual. Remember, I've been breaking this down for a while now, the Kong versus Godzilla, Scorpion versus Sub-Zero, etc. When you understand this whole thing, all it is saying is like that's why I had the largest, arena, because all it was saying was practically like, witnessing the aspect of the Son of Man being revealed, aka Billy. You know what I mean? When you understand this. So when they saying that he broke his face, that was their way of trying to say that, oh, we're preventing his face from being revealed. You feel what I'm saying? When I'm getting deep, because this took place in Texas. And like I've been breaking down to y'all for a while now, Texas is what? The Lone Star State. And as it's written in Revelation 2:28, I would give him the morning star. And we already know the Messiah is the star of Bethlehem. And remember I said that he broke Billy's face. You already know that the face of man, you know what I mean? The face as a man. And then the aspect of Texas being a longhorn state, aka the Messiah is what? The royal ox, the royal bull. Hint the whole aspect of longhorn state, longhorns of salvation of Messiah. You feel, or you get where I'm going with this in that aspect. But what I want to talk about is Canelo was the one to break Billy's face. And when you know what Canelo don't mean nothing but the cinnamon tree, right? And this, it's really popular, like out in like the aspect of like Canelo is like it's like actually a people over, like an Indian people over in Central Ecuador. I used to live out in Ecuador actually. About the aspect of the Canelo people. So you understand this whole thing of the Canelo tree. Cinnamon tree, I'm sorry. This is a very deep thing because it's written in Revelation 18, standing far off, for the moment of her fear of her torment, saying, alas, has the great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore, the merchandise of gold, silver, precious stones, pearls, fine linen, purple and silk, scarlet, dying wood, all manners of vessels of ivory, brass, iron, marble, cinnamon, and thy fruits that thy soul lusted after, which made you departed from thee. You feel what I'm saying? Because when you understand the whole aspect of that, this is all going to the aspect of the merchants. When you understand the whole thing of Canelo, aka the cinnamon tree, you feel what I'm saying? This is that deep because all it was practically saying is that the Son of Man is being revealed. This is why they try to say they broke his face. They don't want him revealed because everything is unfolding right before our eyes. And hence, it took place in Texas, right? And when you understand Texas, Texas is in the Gulf of Mexico. Hence the whole aspect of Luke 16:26. And beside all this, between us and you, there is a great gulf fixed great gulf fixed between us. You feel what I'm saying by this? This stuff is that real, man. How all of this stuff was set up that perfect. And remember, I've been talking about the J. Cole breakdown about his album he got coming out the off season. And you see how it says between us and you, because the Most High in Genesis 1 said, let us make man in our image. So hint why J. Cole on his album, what is he saying? He's saying we came a long way, man. We didn't, we came a long way. We sitting on top of this. This could either go one way or go up or down. But either way, I'm prepared for it. You feel what I'm saying? You remember I was already talking about the whole aspect about him talking about the bodies laying in the street dead, just like Revelation Revelation 11:8 about the dead bodies in the street. I broke this down. Just go check out my J. Cole breakdown. But another thing too, how he was talking about, we got hella blues like the Rolling 60s. Christ went to heaven at age 33, and so did Pimp C and Nipsey. Because when he's trying to say, okay, look, the summertime bring the coldest winter breeze, because all that winter and cold represents is nothing but the Masonic blues. Hence why he said that we got, a lot of blues. And he's saying, Christ went to heaven at age 33, so that Pimp C and Nipsey. In other words, trying to say, don't worry about the face of the man, Son of Man being revealed. We can do the same thing. We can be higher. Go check out my video on him, and y'all understand where I'm going with this, because this stuff is that real. And I'm actually, remember I said how Billy Joe got his face broke. Let's listen to this right quick.
80s, don't be silly. Now we push pills and sell heroin to Billy.
Listen to that.
Now Billy mama want the judge to pardon his addiction. How many?
You see look how wicked that is, and how he got the no woman, no cry, because in Revelation 12, as it's written, when the Son of Man is being brought forth, the woman cried out. Why do you know what I mean? Why the dragon sought to kill her. Hint the whole aspect of we sell drugs and heroin to Billy. Let me play this right quick.
Hey yo, man, fucking motherfucking Billy, man. Yeah, man, that motherfucker, man, just called me and shit from fucking some county jail, man, down south or some shit.
You hear that? Down south, right? Where is this at? Billy Joe, where is this at, man? This just took place in Texas. Let's keep it rolling.
Yo, motherfucker crazy. I thought the nigga was coming over here next week too and shit. But I guess he went down south with the fucking white boys and shit. You know he love hanging with the white boys and shit.
Yo, he sniffed dope and swallowed acid, took gulps of coke class.
You feel what I'm saying? Because what they trying to say when they talk about giving drugs to Billy, that's their way of trying to say they defiling the blood. You know how you're saved through the blood of the Son of God. So that's the aspect of them trying to say we're destroying the blood of the Savior. We pushing, giving them pills, we giving them heroin, we giving them dope, so that you can't be saved and we can keep this kingdom going on. Hint, like Pennywise and Billy. Remember Pennywise used to use the balloons because that was their way of trying to say that they go higher than Billy, go higher than the Son of God. You feel what I'm saying? This stuff is that real, man. And it's no way around it. But I really want to delve deeper into this because I want to touch another level. The same day that this happens, I think either a day before or a day after, if I'm not mistaken. I think this was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Obama, his dog Bo dies, right? His dog Bo dies from cancer. You feel what I'm saying? And when you understand the dog is what? The shepherd, the protector. You feel what I'm saying? And when you understand this whole thing, he's a Portuguese water dog. And when you know about the Portuguese water dog, you remember they helped out the merchants, the fishermen. He was a messenger. They're a messenger between ships and shore. So that all goes back to what I'm talking about, the aspect of breaking Billy's face and the whole thing, too, of when you delve deep into this, like I was saying, about the merchants. Hint the whole aspect of Bo, you know what I mean? Being a Portuguese water dog, the messenger between ships and shore. This stuff is all in our face, yo, and there's no way around it. Because when you understand the whole aspect of the Lewis, when you understand the aspect of this, I'm going to delve deep into this. When you understand the Messiah, the Son of God, you have the name Yahushua, and when it, translates into the Greek and into the English, it becomes nothing but Lewis. You feel what I'm saying? This is deep. This stuff is real. As it's written, it's power in the name. It's power in the name, and this is why they blaspheme so hard, because they use it to that's why you notice all the kings back in England and all of that, they all used to be named Louis, Williams, Charles, all of those names, because all of those names all come into the aspect of Messiah's son. You know how I said, many shall come in my name, many false Christs. And this is why you always hear these names over and over again, because when you understand the Lewis, as we know, the Messiah is a carpenter. When you understand the Lewis, this is why they don't have no capstone, because when you understand how the Lewis works, it raises up stones, and that's why they use it, so they can exalt themselves and remove the Messiah from being a headstone. That's why all you got is an all-seeing eye with no headstone. You feel what I'm hint the aspect of break the face, break the aspect of him becoming you know what I mean, becoming the whole thing of the headstone. Because when you understand When you understand how Satan works, if we know, the Most High formed man out of clay, out of dust, hence why Satan uses clay as aka the flesh of man, the souls of men, to build up his pyramid. You know what I mean? He uses the iron aspect because when you understand the soul, iron sharpens iron. And hence what I was talking about earlier, the iron helps push oxygen through the blood. You feel what I'm saying? Hint the iron and clay kingdom because they use flesh and blood to build up their pyramid. This is how Satan works. He's the enemy of all humanity. He deceiveth the whole world. And I want to delve deep into this because what I want to talk about right quick, and I'm gonna take it further because I really need to. I should have been did this, but when you understand the name Kara, all of that comes from the name Lewis. But when you understand the name Kara, Kara means nothing but like the anointed one, aka black anointed one, the head saint. You feel what I'm saying? So this is what I want to delve into right quick because when you understand this, why William was the one who created the first car dealership. You feel what I mean? And I'm gonna delve real deep into this because like I've been talking about the will of I am, Exodus 3:14. And this stuff is that real because what I want to talk about is when you understand the aspect of the Messiah anyway, as it's written, he has the keys to the house of David. You feel what I'm saying? He has the keys of David and he has the keys of hell and of death. And I'm going to tap into this right quick because I want to really elaborate further. I want to really delve deep into this whole thing about breaking the face and why they're trying to do this, breaking the face of Billy. Because when you understand this, on the skeleton key, remember you had the movie called The Skeleton Key. I'm pretty sure people have seen this years ago. And you had the movie called The Skeleton Key. If you notice the car that she was driving, it was obviously a red car. Now, you remember when I was talking about the aspect of the name Kara, don't mean nothing but anointed one. You feel what I'm saying? So when you understand it being red, all that represents is the blood sacrifice, the ritual, when the Messiah was crucified. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm a deal, cause that's our way, that's our path to reaching the kingdom is through the blood. You feel me? So this is why you had the movie too that came out a while back. Notice she's driving like a little bug car. And when you notice that whole thing, the movie, remember the movie called The Love Bug years ago? Remember that? It's like 1969. And the car right here obviously is what? Like a little bug. Look at it right quick. Get ready for the video. You see they driving a little bug. You feel what I'm saying? And when you understand that, which is so deep, you see how they have the writing right there, which is nothing but for Mr. Wu. You feel what I'm saying? And all that means is nothing but the aspect of the celestial, and it means nothing but like the warrior. You know what I mean? As it's written anyway, that the Most High is a God of war. You feel what I'm saying? That he goes to war and he defends his saints. You feel what I mean? So when you understand this right here, the two people that was driving, because on the movie Skeleton Key, I forgot to mention, the movie Skeleton Key, her name was Caroline. And I'm going to delve deep into this whole thing with Akara and why they're trying to like do this whole thing, of breaking the face of Billy. When you understand this whole thing right here, her name is Caroline. Now on the movie The Love Bug, the lady's name was Caroline. You know what I mean? The lady who plays the lady on the movie, her name was Carol, and the guy's name was Jim Douglas. You know what I'm saying? These two people right here. The lady is Carol, who is played by Michelle, which is short for what? Michael, which is the feminine way of saying Michael, which don't mean nothing but one who is like God. And when you understand the guy, his name is Jim. And when you understand the name Jim, all Jim means is Jacob, aka the 12 tribes of Israel in which the Messiah is born. You feel what I'm saying? In the flesh. So when you understand all of this, this stuff is all in our face because going back to the aspect of the love bug, the car name was Herbie, which don't mean nothing but illustrious warrior. Hint the whole aspect of Billy fighting Canelo, because that represents nothing but all of this whole thing represents nothing but Babylon not wanting to, the spiritual Babylon not wanting to lose its power. You feel what I'm saying? Is goods and all the things that make it what it is. All going back to what I was reading in Revelation 18. And I'm going to take this deep on y'all right quick because what I want to talk about too, just to go back to this, If you remember the movie, The Skeleton Key, for those who haven't seen it, it was really a movie about witchcraft. But when you understand the whole aspect about what I was reading, as it's written that the Messiah has the keys of hell and of death. You feel what I'm saying? The Lewis, aka nothing but the way of truth. You feel what I mean? Making him become the headstone. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm gonna delve deep into this because when you understand that whole thing is real serious, because this is why too, go back on the name Kara right quick, because I don't want to further off, branch off. But the name Kara, that's why America leads, the number one killer in America is car accidents. You feel what I'm saying? That's real because all that represents the aspect of breaking the face of Billy. You know what I mean? This stuff is that real. That's why the cars went from being iron to what? Plastic. Because when you understand the whole aspect of iron, remember I was mentioning that how iron pushes air through the blood so the body can live. The brain can live. You feel what I'm saying? The head can live, aka what? The headstone that they don't want, obviously. That's why they like to attack the blood. You feel what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I'm gonna delve into this right quick, but I want to keep it flowing because when you understand that too, just to get deep, the guys who was the enemy of Herbie, like the love bug. But when I was talking about that, the guys who was the enemy, they was notice that he's driving with the letter T on his shirt, and all that stands for is nothing but the aspect of the judicial system. You know what I mean? The false law. You know what I'm saying? This stuff is that real. Notice why they was battling against that. You feel me? It's that real. But anyway, Herbie ended up winning if you remember the movie. But just notice this whole thing of breaking the face of Billy. You know what I mean? Defeating Billy from being revealed and coming into what? Being the headstone. And it's that serious because when you understand the whole aspect too of the cast of the Skeleton Key, what I want to talk about is you had the lady named Kate. She played, like I said, her name was Caroline, just like the lady on the movie Love Bug. Her name was Carol. All that comes from Kara. But when you understand this, which is that serious, the main character, her name was Caroline. The lady who she ended up working for, name was Violet. And when you understand the Violet anyway, all that is written in scripture that the Most High was, he would sprout as a lily, aka Violet, etc. However you want to put it. He's going to sprout as that flower. That's why on a show, on a little TV show called the iPet Go, I'm gonna play a clip right quick. But notice why Obama was looking the way he was once the flower sprouted. All of the mannequins, those people who are soulless. Notice she's in a circle of protection. Notice the Masonic checkerboard floor. You feel what I'm saying? If you see that right there, all that is right here, the black, like the little L right there, and all of this don't mean nothing but Lewis. You feel what I'm saying? If you really pay attention to it. And notice how that forms the lily flower. Because that represents the Messiah being born and coming into power, where Obama is scared. You feel what I'm saying? They know their kingdom is about to fall. This stuff that real, y'all. My point on the movie, Kate, aka Caroline on the Skeleton Key, she was a nurse, and we already know that through the blood you're healed. The aspect of the Messiah being the healer. And like I said, she worked for Violet because on the film, all she was doing was trying to help the lady, her husband named Ben, who was paralyzed and he couldn't talk. And when you understand the name Ben, all Ben means it's the son of, you know what I mean? Which is like the tribe of Benjamin with the tribes of Israel. But when you know about this, you see this is the guy who she ended up, they ended up being together because the whole film was practically about the whole aspect of let me see if I can find. Yeah, the movie right here. You had the lady named Mama Cecile, and all Cecile mean is nothing but Lily. Remember, I've been talking about the name Lily being the Messiah coming up into power. But when you understand the guy, her brother, his name was Papa Justify, hint Justice, aka the Most High. And what they were doing was they was practically, entering the bodies of they was trying to find new vessels to live in. When you understand that, even though they used it with witchcraft, like through Hollywood sense, when you understand this, all it was the aspect of the things done in the ones who are hidden, the secret, aka black. You know what I mean? That's why I said the name Kara don't mean nothing but black. You feel me? It means nothing but black and anointed because it represents the one in secret aspect coming manifesting into flesh. You can look at it on this perspective of how I'm connecting it. But when you understand that they was using the kids, and then they basically, the soul of them was living through in the children. You know what I'm saying? Just like on the movie Get Out. Remember when the whites was trying to enter, they was entering the black bodies to be stronger. That's all it represents is everything coming into fruition, man. When you understand the yin yang, that's why they use race on all of these movies. But I really want to just elaborate further because as you were seeing earlier when I was showing you, Caroline was the one who had received the Cecile, aka the Lily. You feel what I mean? The one who the lady possessed. You see what I'm saying? The one named Caroline right there was the one that got possessed because she left the body of the lady right here named Violet. Like, it's that real, man, and there's no way around it. Because like I was talking about earlier, the aspect of the name Violet don't mean nothing but what? The lily. You know what I'm saying? But when you understand this, hint the aspect of the Saints logo. And I just really want to just cover that in here because this is a lot, to understand how they literally attack, the aspect of the Most High, man. The aspect of the Son of God, Billy, they trying to crush his face from being revealed. And you see how the skeleton key aspect, how it showed how they actually killed them too, the Mama Cecile and Papa Justify, but they kept living on because as is anyway, the spirit is going to be poured upon all flesh and it's going to manifest, and you can't stop it. No matter how hard they try, they can't stop it. Truth is going to be truth. Truth is going to manifest. You feel what I'm saying? And I want to delve deep in that aspect of the name Kara, and I'm going to tap higher right quick because I want to show something of what they're trying to hide from. Just pay attention to this.
For you, why are there interstate highways in Hawaii?
Now notice this show right. This is a commercial from Question Everything from the Hyundai Tucson new commercial. And when you understand that Hawaii, why he asked that, because when you understand Hawaii, remember Obama is from Hawaii. You feel what I'm saying? And it's deep, y'all. And I want to show y'all something. Obama is from Hawaii. And when you understand that whole aspect, remember I was talking about how his dog died. And when you understand the whole aspect, the interstate connects you to what? It connects you to the city. You know what I mean? So when you understand this, it's that deep because they're trying to bridge everyone into Obama's policy, Obama's law. And I'm going to delve real deep into this later on in the video. But when you understand why he said that, how he said, why interstates are in Hawaii, that's trying to say they're trying to bridge into the New World Order through Obama's policy. As it's written in Daniel 8, and I'm actually going to pull it up right quick. Daniel chapter 8, and in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. He shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and holy people, and through his policy also shall he cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart and be peace, and by peace shall destroy many. You already know the whole aspect of them trying to say they're trying to restore peace, a one world order, one world peace. And through his voting law, you already know the aspect of democracy don't mean nothing but demon possession when you break it down in the Latin. And when you, or Greek or Latin, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But when you break it down, it don't mean nothing but demon possession. And when you understand Obama law, the aka the voters law, that's all to surrender your soul, and that you let them have full power, where because it's all oblivion, and it's all deception, and it's all illusion, the aspect of voting. But the whole thing is for them to bridge you into the one world order through his policy. This is why in 1965, you had the Selma to Montgomery March with Dr. King. It was for voters' rights. And notice how it was Hawaii was the thing, because it said Hawaii knows Hawaii knows integration works because they're trying to integrate into a one world order. That's why Obama, if you know about he's the modern day Akhenaten, the ancient Egyptian pharaoh. When you understand how this stuff goes, that's why they had to have him like the mix, because when you understand like the black and the white aspect, remember I was talking about the yin yang, all that represents is everything, them trying to bring and manifest their agenda into the flesh. One world, good and evil mixed together. feminine, masculine mixed together. That's why they say the future is female. And I'm actually gonna do a video on that again. I had did one before. I'm gonna do another video on that. But hint why Obama uses the aspect of the rainbow, because in scripture as it's written that Noah's ark, remember that the Most High gave Noah a rainbow saying that this is the covenant that I won't destroy the earth again by water. Hence why they use the rainbow, because they're trying to hide behind God's covenant to not destroy the world. You feel what I'm saying again? You know what I mean? Even though fire is coming, you know how I said that, Most High destroyed the world by fire? Notice why they said Hawaii, because hint why Obama is from Hawaii, because when you understand the Hawaii aspect, all that represents is like the Hawaii was a land that was formed from fire, from volcanic eruption, and it formed a beautiful paradise. That's why they trying to say, all right, through my policy, link up with me and we gonna be okay. We good. I ain't mad. We good. We gonna be straight. Hint the whole aspect of question everything, man. Why is there interstates in Hawaii? Let's break the face of Billy, keep him from being revealed. Therefore, we can live in sin and prosper. As it said, it's what his plan gonna do. He's gonna prosper, and in destroying the mighty and holy people. He shall prosper in his hand. You know what I mean? And he shall be broken without hand. He should stand up against the prince of princes and shall be broken without hand. Hint the whole aspect of all the theme of Canelo versus Billy, Kong versus Godzilla, Scorpion versus Sub-Zero, all nothing but the Messiah versus the aspect of rising up against Satan, aka manifested in flesh. There's no way around this. That's why they doing the whole aspect, the Messiah, as it said, the tongue is a mighty sword. And as he said that in Matthew, that he's not coming for peace, he's coming by sword, he's coming by truth. You feel? That's why Obama is pushing the peace aspect. And that's why they creating the laws where it's like if you offend people, you speak in truth, or any you speak out, it's hate crimes, hate speech. Because they know that's going to be the sword that's used. Truth is going to destroy this kingdom, man. The truth going to be revealed. You feel what I'm saying? I'm going to keep this thing going, man. That's why they want to break the face of Billy. Let's keep it flowing. Take it even deeper right quick. Because when you understand, like I did plenty of videos on King Von. I done it on DMX. I done it on a lot of these cats. But when you know about King Von, he's from the Windy City, just like Obama. He's from the Windy City. And he's from 64th and King Drive. Remember, I was already breaking that down about the whole aspect of the Dr. King with the Hawaii thing. And how when you understand the whole thing, Michelle Obama allegedly is from 64th and King Drive. So that's all this. Pay attention to that. So when you understand the Windy City and him allegedly dying, and like when you understand him allegedly dying in Atlanta, Atlanta is called the gateway city of the South, right? And when you understand the Windy City, hint the whole aspect of opening up the gates. Because when you understand that, as it's written, Revelation 22:14, they all do the aspect of trying to, blaspheme the Most High and trying to build their kingdom for their own. I'm going to delve into this right quick. Hint why Revelation 22:14, blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. Hint the Windy City opening up the Atlanta, aka the gateway of the South. Because when you understand that, that's their way of trying to say that they about to inherit it. Why you think they, the commandments of God is what the law. Hence why Obama has pushes vote, vote, vote. Don't boo, vote. Because what he's trying to say when he's saying don't boo, boo means nothing but the Holy Spirit, Holy Ghost, boo. As it's written in Matthew 6:6, you know what I mean? Pray in the closet in secret. Hint the whole aspect of the boogeyman in the closet. It goes this deep, y'all. You know what I mean? It goes this deep. But when you understand that, notice why a lot of the states are doing the voter restriction laws. Because that's just a whole aspect of the ritual they're playing out. Because as it's written anyway, blessed are those that do his commandments. Hint the whole aspect as it's written, do not vote the stranger over thee. The Most High gave the commandment unto Israel. So when you understand this, hint the whole aspect of that and why Obama is like basically objecting against it. Because when you understand this, hint why the Major League Baseball game, went from Atlanta to Denver due to Atlanta having voter restriction laws. So everyone right now, you got obviously the Boule Society is saying we got to be able to vote. Don't take our vote. We should be able to vote, blah, blah, this and that. You know what I mean? Because it's all them trying to say that they're basically about to inherit the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of the tree of life. And I'm going to delve into that because, DMX was obviously buried at the Barclays Center, right? And you remember I was talking about the tree of life. When you understand the birch tree, that's all Barclay means is birch tree meadow. That's nothing but the tree of life, y'all. The birch tree is nothing but the tree of life. What I mean by this, because as it's written anyway in the scriptures, in Isaiah 19:19, there should be an altar to the Lord in the midst in the land of Egypt, and a pillar to the Lord near his border. And as we know, we are in spiritual Egypt, as is written in scripture time and time again. Look at the whole aspect of DMX hit the top of the altar, and then you see the pillar being his casket unto the Most High. This is all the aspect of the Exodus, and they all doing it to try to say that they're about to enter into the new world order aspect. It's that deep. You feel what I mean? Because when you understand this, it's just mind blowing how they play this stuff out. And you can check out my DM. I got like 2 new videos on his memorial. This is really important. That's why the same day that you had the memorial, remember the Rough Riders was driving on the highway, and notice the same day that they had that doing that, Mo 3's killer allegedly went to court the same day. Because they was trying to say that, remember Mo 3 was killed on the highway. All they was trying to say was like the aspect was that you would have those who are left behind on the highway to the into the new world, into the kingdom, and those who will be on the highway going into it. It was all a big ritual. And there's no way around this stuff. And I just like really want to talk about that because as I noticed, remember I said the Barclays Center obviously in Brooklyn, hence why Dante Wright was in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. And this is a whole different state. You feel what I'm saying? Because all Brooklyn means is nothing but broken land. You feel what I mean? And all right means is what? It means the son of the carpenter. So it's the practically of them trying to say that they're able to, make it into the kingdom through the broken land. You know what I'm saying? That whole aspect of the Exodus. Remember, the Most High destroys Egypt. That's why they using Brooklyn, aka broken land. It's that deep because all that represents is the aspect, if we know, keeping the Messiah, the Lewis, from reaching the top of the capstone. Hint the whole theme of what I was talking about earlier. Break the faith severely, keeping his face from being revealed. Therefore, our new world order shall be established. That's their agenda. And I'm going to delve deep into this because I want y'all to hear this right quick. It's called The First Purge. Just came out like 3 years ago. I'm going to play the clip and chime on in.
Sis.
Pay attention to this, y'all.
Brooklyn, sis. A block away from Uncle T's place. I got the last bus off the island.
You hear that? Like how you say he already in Brooklyn? Because Brooklyn was like their way into them reaching a new. Remember I said how the Most High destroys Egypt. Brooklyn represents nothing but the aspect of the broken land. And when you understand how he said he on, they was actually on this movie, they was in Staten Island, which don't mean nothing but what? The landing stage. And when you understand that all goes back, when you know about the landing stage, it's nothing but the aspect of what? Revelation 18 with the merchant ships. You feel what I'm saying? The dock aspect. Remember I was talking about Billy versus Canelo. Canelo meaning nothing but the cinnamon, which is nothing but the aspect of the goods of the merchants, and them basically trying to say that they holding on. They're going to try to hold on from keeping his face from being. If they can break the face of Billy, they ain't got to worry about losing their kingdom. Hence the whole aspect of why the movie was in Staten Island. And remember when I was talking about Obama dog being what? The Portuguese water dog, which used to be a messenger for between the ships and shore. You know what I mean? And when you understand that too, I can elaborate further. This is why Tampa Bay Buccaneers had to be the ones to they had to be the ones who beat Kansas City Chiefs, because all they represent is nothing but the merchants, you know what I'm saying, skull and bones, Masonic fraternity, against the chief, aka the headstone of what? The pillar, the chief, the head. If they saying that they can keep the Messiah from coming into power, they got to do as much as they can to try to keep him coming back into the head of being the head. You feel what I'm saying? And when you understand this whole thing, notice how they was already showing that then on that movie First Purge. You know what I mean? Because all they was trying to say was that, okay, look, we good. If you didn't make it to Brooklyn, you died in Staten Island. You know what I mean? AKA the land of the merchants. That stuff is that real. This is why J. Cole had the album, you know, with 2-song little EP last year called Lion King on Ice and The Climb Back. You know what I mean? It was called Lewis Street, the mixtape. Or the not mixtape EP, I'm sorry. It was called Lewis Street. Hint the whole aspect of the Lion King on Ice and them doing the climb back because they trying to say that they gonna maintain not falling off. You know what I mean? They coming back into power. I did a 2 project thing with J. Cole. You can go check that out. The 2 videos I made about the J. Cole new album. I'm not really gonna go too deep on it on this. But notice why you got the blue car, you got the 2 dogs on chains, because when you understand dog backwards is God and it don't mean nothing but the shepherd, the protector. Hence why the dogs are fighting each other. Notice one is in blue, one in red, represent nothing but the most high and versus Satan. You feel what I'm saying? And when you look at it, notice the blue is the only thing that you're seeing. Notice the blue with the dog chain, the guy wearing the blue in the back. You see the guy wearing the red on the right, and he's holding something green. I can't really see, but when you pay attention to that, notice in the back you got the blue car because all that represents is nothing but the aspect of what? They Masonic blue. Remember when I was talking about that earlier with J. Cole? How he said we got more blue than the rolling 60s. You know, Christ went to heaven at 33, but so did Nipsey and Pimp C. Hint the coldest breeze in the wintertime. Because all that represents is not all that blue represents is nothing but the Masonic blue, y'all. Hint why on the song, on that new song, you know, the interlude by J. Cole, you know what I mean? The whole aspect of the interlude by J. Cole, who was the producer on it? His name is T minus. Now remember earlier when I was talking about the aspect of the T about that movie Herbie, earlier about the movie Herbie, when I was talking about them wearing a T for the judicial system representing the law and judgment of the judicial system. When you understand the name T, listen to him say he in Brooklyn already with Uncle T. Listen to this.
I'm already in Brooklyn, sis.
A block away from Uncle T's place.
A block away from Uncle T's place. The whole aspect of the headstone, the block. You feel what I'm saying? And you see how he said Uncle T's place because when you understand the T, you see right there the number 8. All that is the aspect of the Lewis, which brings forth, you see number 4 bringing nothing but the aspect of him coming back into head, coming back into power. That's all it represent, y'all, just to keep it simple. But that's why J. Cole, for his interlude, T minus was the one of the co-producers, because what they was trying to say was that they don't need the they without the Messiah, they their own God. You know what I mean? Hint the whole aspect where he was talking about how, you know, Pimp C made it to and so did Nipsey at age 33, made it to heaven just like you know, Christ aspect. So did they. We can do the same thing. We don't need him. You feel what I'm saying? That's how deep this stuff go. Because when you understand that, which is so deep, remember Rocky fought Mr. T. And when you know about Rocky, Rocky, what you know that not the Messiah is what? The rock, the stone, the headstone. You feel what I'm saying? Versus who? Mr. T, because Mr. T, notice his name was Clubber Lang. And when you understand that Clubber, all club mean is nothing but the rod, aka the bat, aka the bar. You know what I mean? The rod of Messiah, the club. You know what I'm saying? His authority. You know how he should rule with a rod of iron. And when you understand Mr. T, notice he wears all the gold. That whole fight was nothing but the aspect of the rock, aka Messiah, coming to take away all the gold. Hint the whole aspect of break the face of Billy. You remember when I was talking about this? So that the whole theme of that he won't, you know, they won't take the merchants' goods away. You know what I mean? They won't lose their goods. Hint why Canelo had to be the one break the face of Billy. Because the Messiah is coming to take this kingdom away, man. Destroy this kingdom with truth, understanding, and with authority and with fire. You know what I mean? This stuff is that real, y'all. Hint the Lewis being a what? Raise up the stone. You know what I'm saying? This stuff is that real. Hint why the number T, remember how they said Uncle T's house? Pay attention on King Kong when he's escaping Godzilla. You see the letter T, and it's in all purple because purple is nothing but what? High consciousness, royalty. The Messiah, drenched in purple. You know what I mean? Because that's why all that stuff is all about, y'all. This is them trying to say they're above the Messiah, above the rim. They're above the rim, aka the U rim of the high priest breastplate. You feel what I'm saying? It's that real, y'all. Hint the sideline story while J. Cole was in the locker room. And notice he's sitting on a T. Remember, I was talking about that aspect of the T minus. They using the T because all this is basically saying a subscriber, her name's KG. I really appreciate you for bringing this to my attention right here. I didn't even see this, but yeah, about the whole aspect of the T. You see how he's sitting on top of the T, and that's so deep because all that represents is the aspect. You see how he holding his hand in the Masonic stance and the Masonic hand gesture with the locker room. Because as I said earlier, remember I said the skeleton key. You know what I mean? The aspect of the skeleton key and the whole aspect of the Messiah having the keys to David, and then the keys to the kingdom, the aspect of the keys of hell and death as well, because how he conquers death. But what I want to talk about right quick and hit the locker room. Basically, J. Cole is saying that he won't be able to he's soul collecting is what a locker room mean too, but practically saying he don't have the keys to enter in here. You know what I mean? Hint that whole aspect how he's sitting on top of the T, because all that is practically saying is the theme of the skull and bones fraternity. We keeping the Messiah crippled. You know what I mean? We built our kingdom, on his sacrifice. You feel what I'm saying? It's that real, y'all. That's their power, the blasphemy of the name. You feel me? The blasphemy of what? The Lewis. Come on, y'all. Hit T minus. Everything comes together because there's no way around it. And as we know about skull and bones, anyway, the Messiah was crucified in what? The land of the skull. You know what I mean? AKA, you can look at it, Africa. You know what I mean? You got to understand like how Africa looks like a skull. This stuff is that real, man. It's that real, y'all. And it's all about who got the eyes to see and what? The ears to hear. And I'm going to end that video right here. Thank you for watching Hide and Seek TV. Continue to subscribe. Thank y'all. I have a lot of subscribers who've been really, holding it down with me, y'all. Supporting me. Thank you for all of the help, all of the input in the comments. I appreciate all of that. And I just thank y'all so much for watching my videos. And anyone who haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. And even if you haven't subscribed and you watch my videos, I really appreciate that. Thank you for watching Hide and Seek TV. Much more is coming. Peace.